Hi, Richard here. This is the second part of making my own action figure stands, making the molds. These are my models which I made in the previous video. I also set up some of the original plain stands in case I have some material left. I sprayed the plastiline models with plain artist's fixative. This is because I don't know if the clay's ingredients will affect the silicone as it cures. After applying the fixative, it's time to build the walls around the models. Here I use plain old plastic binding covers. I take general measurements of the model, adding at least about a 1/4 inch all around. When marking out the measurements on the plastic binding covers, there's no problem if I go a little over the actual measurement. I can always adjust and trim it as I build the walls. When I set these up, I keep them away from the model that 1/4 inch that I added on earlier when I took the measurements. Using hot glue to stick the plastic, I make sure to not leave any gaps, because the silicone will seep through any open spaces. Once everything is walled up, I spray some mold release to make sure it demolds easily later. Now to mix the silicone. I have some old bits I can use as filler because I don't have much to work with. The ratio of the silicone is supposed to be 2% catalyst to the rubber, but I go about 1.5%. It will take longer to cure, but it gives me a few more minutes of working time. I have to mix it thoroughly to make sure that there are no bits that are left uncured. As I pour the silicone, I try to get as much of the model's surface covered. I didn't really mix enough, so I'm going to try and bring up the levels by inserting filler bits, but I already see that I'm going to need to mix more. I use compressed air to spread the silicone around and break any air bubbles that are still trapped in it. I mix and pour the last of the silicone I have, but I can see it still won't be enough. I should have filled one at a time instead of trying to do all 4 at once. Since it was Friday, I left it curing during the weekend. I took advantage and went to the supplier for more silicone in the meantime. I add the fresh mix to level everything off, so the molds will lay flat and level when casting. The good thing here is that the new silicone will join seamlessly to the old one. After spraying out the air bubbles, I let it cure on a flat level surface for at least a day. Already cured, I pry the molds from the models. I never really expect to keep the models intact since they're only soft clay. I foolishly tried to write on the mold with a Sharpie, but that will rub off in no time. There's usually going to be some bits of plastiline still stuck to the mold, especially in heavy texture areas. These can be brushed out with soap and water or some alcohol. Any last remnant will get pulled out with the first casting. With scissors, I cut out the little excess bits that float under the models and clean up the corner edges of the molds. in order to ensure that it would lay flat when pouring the resin. The molds are done, ready to start casting after some light washing. It may not look like it, but silicone does hold pretty good detail, and I can expect very decent results from the resin pour, which I'm going to show in the next video. I hope you found this content useful. Catch you later, and thanks for watching.